anyone who's recommending that you buy a condo in Florida wants you to lose all your money. In this video, we're gonna hear from people who are being kicked out of their condos, and we're also gonna hear about the struggle of trying to sell these condos that have these rising fees. I'm also gonna talk about things you need to do if you're considering buying a condo anywhere. So make sure you stay until the end so you can check that out. But first, I need you to hit that subscribe button. If you want to get better at real estate investing, you have to follow this channel. Also, go to the pinned comment of this video. There is a free training that you can watch on how to invest out of state. Let's hear about people who are being kicked out of the condos that they live in.
The condo crisis hitting a Pembroke Pines complex. Residents have until midnight to move out all of their belongings. The saga has played out for months after their homes were deemed unsafe.
The city stepped in to help out, but that didn't make it any easier for people who called Heron Pond home for years. CBS News Miami's Joe Murray joins us from Pembroke Pines. And Joan, you talked to some of the remaining homeowners moving out today. Tough day for them, right?
Yeah, it's been very painful, Elliot. Now, behind me, we are in the back of the building. There are 300 units. It's very sprawling off Pembroke Pines Boulevard. Well, back here you can see exactly how dilapidated the buildings have become. You see that exposed wood, screens are missing, the balconies are sagging. But things are so bad that the timeline was set that everybody has to be out by midnight.
Now, how could they possibly allow people to live in these conditions? What was all the HOA money going to? It looks like the building is literally gonna fall apart any day now. For the condo units that were rented, where were the owners? It's very obvious that they didn't care about the condition their tenants were living in. Everyone has to be out by midnight, but where are people supposed to go at the very last minute? This is insane. Let's hear from those who are moving out, and let's also learn about why this is actually happening.
Moving is never easy, but between relentless rain and a narrow window, it can be overwhelming. The last of the residents in the troubled Heron Pond community have until midnight to be out. Jazz Alfonso said the city did help her find an affordable alternative.
When we moved in, it was just a balcony. Then it turned out to be more, and I don't know. It's just the last year I've been living in the unknown, so I'm just glad it's over.
The exodus has been going on a year after some buildings were found to be unsafe. On the outside, you can see cracks, rotted wood, and crumbling balconies. A full evacuation was ordered after a recent engineering report found widespread structural damage, a result of exposure to the elements, including moisture and termites.
Now, in this economy, having to move out at the last minute is probably one of the worst things that can happen to most people. They mentioned that people have been moving out for the past year, which leads me to assume that those same people probably could not afford to move over the past year, and it's very possible they still can't afford to move out now, and many of them probably don't even know where they're gonna go. The next part of this clip was absolutely heartbreaking.
Inside, many units are well maintained, and that's what's so heartbreaking for owners like Gloria Bettencourt, who's been paying her mortgage. Michael Padilla is helping her move.
It's killing her. She was crying earlier. She's going through a very emotional state right now. She's paying us to help her move, and I'm kind of saddened because I have to get paid because I'm a worker, but it's still wrong. She's been here 18 years.
The city says water and electricity will be shut off soon. It's not known whether anyone will ever be able to return. The future of Heron Pond very much up in the air.
So the mover is there to do a job, and even he is getting emotional because I'm sure he understands how awful and unfair this whole situation is. How would you feel if it was your loved one in this same position? If you ask me, once these people leave, they should tear this building down and start all over again. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. If you thought that was bad, it gets worse.
14 years after buying her Aventura condo, Teresa Teixeira still loves her place.
Beautiful views, location, beautiful neighborhood.
It's a place where you see yourself being long-term.
Well, definitely a long-term investment.
But she says the cost of keeping that long-term investment is increasing. In addition to her mortgage, she pays hundreds of dollars in monthly fees totaling
$1,390.
Those fees include HOA maintenance dues and 2 assessments, one imposed just last year.
We still needed more money to bring us up to the 40-year.
And that was after Champlain.
After Champlain, and that's what hit us.
It's an $81,000 assessment spread out over 20 years.
The financial cost to all of us It's amazing.
I'm extremely concerned.
Jeff Brandis is a former Republican state senator out of Pinellas County who helped pass condo reforms after the Champlain Towers South collapse in June of 2021.
Right now, we're kind of given this choice, like either buildings are going to fall down or we're going to bankrupt seniors that are living in these condo units. I don't think that it's a bifurcated choice like that.
So in addition to her mortgage, she pays over $1,300 in additional fees. Let that sink in. This is unbelievable. And this is why I continue to say time and time again to be very careful if you want to buy a condo or if you want to buy a home that's inside of an HOA. I'm honestly shocked that they're spreading out the cost of the special assessment over 20 years because in videos I've covered in the past, if you've seen them, there are many people in Florida who are being asked to come up with tens of thousands of dollars and sometimes over $100,000 in a matter of months for special assessment. So this is actually surprising. Now I need you to brace yourself for the absolute nonsense in the next clip. It's really unbelievable that they're doing this to people.
Last week, he asked the state legislature on X to hold a special session urgently, sharing a previous story we did on the issue.
There's always a special assessment. You either pay for it, you sell and leave.
I think there is probably a reasonable and rational solution to this problem that does not create catastrophic consequences to the condo market overall.
He says he's also encouraging his former colleagues to talk to people in their districts about the financial impacts of the reforms so they can figure out ways to help alleviate the burden.
We set arbitrary deadlines. There is no science behind the deadlines we've set.
Teresa says she's made some adjustments to her budget to cover the increase in fees for now.
Could you afford another $300 assessment?
I'll make it work because I know eventually it'll be worth it because obviously I'm not moving out anytime soon, but it is like a bad marriage. It's too expensive to get a divorce.
And this afternoon, the president of the Florida Senate sent a lengthy memo to her colleagues saying, in part, some have suggested a special session to be called to address or alter existing safety and reserve funding requirements and other related issues. It goes on to say that she has no intention at the present time of utilizing her authority as Senate president to convene a special session.
So I have to give a shout out to the former state senator for trying to do something and encouraging his former colleagues to do what's right. I 100% agree that some of these deadlines had no science behind it and logically speaking made absolutely no sense. If you've watched any of my previous videos, you understand that many people are being forced to figure out a way to come up with a lot of money in a short period of time. And it just doesn't make any sense. Now, this lady's blessed. She's in a good situation. She's able to somehow withstand and afford these rising costs. But the reality of it is the majority of people cannot afford these rising costs, especially those who are on a fixed income. I'm not sure if she is, but the point is she's a rare case. So the current state senator doesn't want to hold a special session, and it's literally because she doesn't care. In my opinion, it's a slap in the face to the people who are suffering because of these crazy laws and these rising fees. You let me know what you think about that in the comments. Now, notice one thing in that clip. Someone said that you pay the special assessment and stay, or you sell and leave. Now, many people believe that they can just sell the condo if they find themselves in that situation. But here's why it's not that simple.
To the price of paradise and a crisis among condo owners in Florida. A new Redfin report shows rising HOA fees coupled with sky-high insurance costs is tanking Florida's condo market. Take a look. This report shows the Tampa housing market had the highest jump in HOA fees year over year, up 17%. That's now costing condo owners an average of $614 in HOA costs. And it's leading to falling condo prices, but no one is actually buying. One realtor emailed ABC Action News anchor Nadine Yanis concerned her condos are not selling.
We just got a tour of this condo in Largo. It's been on the market for 218 days. The realtor says this one is not selling.
I'm sorry. I had to stop right there. I'm wondering if they're telling her on the count of 3, walk out of the condo, on the count of 3, walk into the condo, and then start talking. Maybe it's only funny to me, but you let me know in the comments if you found that funny too. Let's get back to it.
And this condo also in Largo isn't selling either. This one has been on the market for almost 400 days. And it's on a golf course. It comes as Redfin is reporting that skyrocketing HOA fees and insurance is hitting the condo market here hard.
Well, this condo is a lovely condo.
Realtor Barbara Schmall has done everything she can think of.
I've had 10 showings, and I've done about 30 open houses. Open houses, nobody appears to come. to see the properties.
To get movement on the condos she's trying to sell.
This has been on the market for 218 days.
At $214,000.
At $214, a mile to the beach.
And 2 miles away at Village de Golf, it's even worse.
This condo has been on the market for 398 days.
And she pulled the data.
In Pinellas County, just condos currently on the market are 2,691 active listings.
For context there, how many is that? A lot?
Oh, I've never, normally it would be maybe 800, 900.
Redfin reports in July, the Tampa housing market saw the highest jump in HOA fees year over year, up 17%, citing two reasons. Reform after the Surfside collapse, forcing condo associations to make safety repairs and pass those costs to condo owners. And insurance costs still rising.
10 showings and 30 open houses, and nobody's buying it. Condos being on the market for hundreds of days, and in some cases, well over 1 year. What does that say to you about these condos? Let me know what you think in the comments. What it says to me is that many of these condos either are not priced correctly, the HOA fees are too high, there's a special assessment, insurance has increased. There's a number of reasons and a number of factors going against buying a condo in Florida, which is probably why these condos have just been sitting on the market. And according to this realtor, there are over 3 times more condos on the market than there usually are. That says a whole lot. People are trying to get out of those situations. Shout out to her for doing the research and sharing it publicly. I hope that this video and the publicity helps her get some additional buyers who this situation might work for. I don't know where those people are, but maybe those people are watching the news. Who knows? So let's look at an actual condo listing in this area to understand more about what she's talking about. As a reminder, at the end of the video, I'm going to talk about what you need to do if you are considering buying a condo anywhere. So make sure you stick around. All right, so this condo is on the market for $400,000 and it is in Largo, Florida, as we just saw in the previous clip. And looks like it had a $10,000 price cut on the 31st, and it has a market for over 200 days. So let's check it out. Based on the outside, it might actually be where that reporter was. Who knows? But here's some pictures. So this is an aerial view of the building. Looks like it's right by the water. The outside of the door, the kitchen. I mean, it looks pretty standard, I guess. I really don't like those floors in the kitchen. I don't like that green. This is the living room, I'm assuming. It has a balcony or maybe living and dining area. Who knows? It's a little balcony area, another shot of the balcony, washer dryer. Perhaps this is one of the bedrooms. This green, I don't like the green. Let me know what you think about that green. Maybe this is another bedroom. And then you got 2 sinks in the bathroom, some more bathroom shots, and a little storage area, I guess, or a garage or something, and just some more views of the condo. So I want to call your attention to something interesting in the description of this condo. It says milestone inspection completed, no special assessment, structurally and financially in good shape. I have to assume some of that is maybe exaggerated or maybe untrue, because why else would this be on the market for over 200 days if there's not something seriously wrong? So if we go down and look at the price history, it was initially put on the market in February 2024 for $459,000. The price dropped about a month after to $450,000. Then it dropped to $439,000. Then it dropped to $426,000. Then it dropped to $420,000. Then it dropped to $415,000. Then it dropped to $410,000. And currently it is at $400,000. So the price dropped by $59,000. And to be honest, if they want to sell it, they may have to drop that price a whole lot more. So this next clip was hard to watch. Let's hear what they have to say about residents trying to come up with the money for these ridiculous fees.
Well, since I've been here since about 2010, my condo fee was around $250. Now it's $670.
Condo owner Jim Bell is on a fixed income. Not only are he and his neighbors about to be hit with an up to $10,000 special assessment for a new roof, but insurance is driving up his monthly HOA too.
You're going to get priced out of it. They just need to get out of our lives, citizens. Just do their insurance thing and leave us alone. Stop changing the laws.
They didn't think about this new law thoroughly or even talk to people who live in these different types of condos.
And that's why you emailed me.
Yes, because we need to get the word out to Tallahassee that you have to do something.
And the calls are growing louder for a special session in Tallahassee to roll back or revise the Surfside reforms. But in a statement earlier this month, Senate President Kathleen Passidomo does not believe it's in the best interest to do so. Instead, she wants to wait until after the elections for all lawmakers to discuss this at next year's legislative session.
One of the saddest parts about this is people who are elderly on fixed incomes who are suddenly being hit with a dramatic increase in their monthly expenses out of nowhere. And in most cases, there's absolutely nothing they can do about it. Now, of course, the state senator doesn't want to talk about it until after the elections. She probably doesn't care because it doesn't impact where she lives. If it impacted her personally, I guarantee you they would have had that special session and talked about some potential resolutions. But she's just pushing it off and procrastinating while everybody else suffers. She says she looks forward to being part of the solution. Well, if you wanted to be part of the solution, why wouldn't you say something a little bit more right now or do something a little bit more right now than continuing to delay the process of trying to work towards some solutions? Maybe I'm missing something. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. If you want to buy a condo anywhere in the country, here are some things you should do. The first thing is you should make sure you talk to the neighbors, understand what their experiences are, understand the problems that they've had with management potentially, or just living there in general. You want to get their feedback. See if you can look at the minutes for the HOA meetings. What are they talking about? What's the money looking like? Do things seem organized? You should also look into the history of how much the fees have increased over time, the history of special assessments, if there are any special assessments coming up as well. These are all costs that you have to factor in. One thing I don't see people talking about a lot is you should see if there's any pending lawsuits against them. It's something that's very important. Overall, you just want to make sure that you're not getting yourself into a bad situation if you decide that buying a condo is what's best for you and or your family right now. I'm not going to tell you not to. You do what you feel is best, but be very careful with condos and be very careful with HOAs. Upon doing your research and your due diligence, you may actually find out that it's not a good match for you. And if that's the case, then it's all good. If you have anything else you want to add to the list, definitely make sure you leave that in the comments. So now that you know about the Florida condo crisis, I want you to learn about why the US cannot build homes fast enough. Check out this video right here.